Yo, good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. I hope everybody had a great night, bro. Super great. Today we're gonna be doing the huge. We're gonna be working on the game. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. Bless y'all. It was a really good weekend. So I really hope you guys had the same kind of weekend. Let me just fix this bad boy up. There we go. Cool. All right, so we're gonna kind of work off of what we had last time, just kind of catch you guys up. I ended up already working a little bit over the weekend. Also, very thankful for all the subscriptions that I got off stream and the follows on Twitch. So thank you guys. I also wanted to mention I have a YouTube video that's coming out very soon. So keep your eyes out on that. My YouTube is youtube.com/BrandSmartUK. So, yeah, I'm really excited to just kind of keep working on this. Let me just give me one more second. I'm just kind of curious on something.
Okay, 1 hour. Starting now.
Okay. So, am I streaming? Yes, I am. Okay, cool. You cannot call in to join your own stream. What does that even mean? That's kind of crazy. Not gonna lie. Okay. Yeah, I just changed my name on Twitch again because your boy was Brand the 3D printed man, and I'm not the 3D printed man anymore. I am a full growing man. Okay, so don't get it twisted. I'm here, right, and I'm real. Okay, so let's get started. So from when last time we spoke, I was working on the game state machine. And one of the things that we left off on was, I think, the pickup marbles. We ended up working on the next hole marble, but we didn't end up finishing it. So, spoiler alert, I ended up finishing it. I ended up just moving over some functions that I had left over from the other game state manager that I held near and dear to my heart. And I started working on the drop marble, which, as you can see, it's a very small function. Because in my original code, the drop marble state ended up actually being a pretty verbose function. It ended up kind of like dealing with a lot of little things. What I mean by that is my drop marble state is the equivalent of it not only dropping the marble, but also checking if it was a capture, checking if it was the last marble that was in my hand that needed to be dropped. And number three, it actually ended up also checking if the game was over. But again, this was only under the understanding that the drop marble state actually ended up dropping the last marble. So this one, on the other hand, is going to be a little bit of like a pretty straightforward one. I really want to just have it deal exactly what it needs to deal, which is, in this case, just dropping it. So as you can see here, it starts with the animation of dropping the marble, which is a timer that says, that plays out an animation that involves the marble falling, right? So this animation, what it does is that it spawns a marble, and then it drops it into the hole. As we keep going in there, we create a new marble. Because all my marbles are rigid body 2Ds, Godot has a very tough time dealing with a singular rigid body 2D and then expecting it to move purposely. So rigid body 2Ds, if you don't know, are based off of gravity, right? And anything to do with like the physics engine that Godot has. Because of this, it moves on its own, depending on what it hits, depending on what the gravity is, all that jazz. So, for some reason, because of this, Godot doesn't let you physically move it using its positions like it usually does for something else. So when you do move it with the position, it actually glitches out and actually goes back to where it was before. So I know this because when I was starting this game and I already started making the marble the marble node, it was already screaming at me, saying, "Hey, bro, you can't do that." So I said, "Fuck you, I'm gonna have to." So nada, I ended up just going in, and I have an instance of a marble, right? I preload my marble scene, and then what I do is I just instantiate it, and I change the colors and the description of it to the one that was before. This way, I'm able to just create a new one, delete the other one, and it's still technically the same one. But it's a little bit of the Theseus ship argument, where pretty much we're just kind of stuck having either we're stuck having a new one that is technically just replacing the old one, but that old one is actually just completely gone. But the user's not going to really see anything in the front be any different, because in their hand and in their board, it's just theirs. Okay, so as you can see here, we do all that. I apply a central impulse because of what I explained about being a rigid body 2D. And then from there, we add it to our current hole. Now, state machine change state, I actually check for effect. So here's the logic on checking for the effect. So I have a couple of places where I'm going to need to check for an effect. What do I mean by that? I mean that there's, when the game starts, so let's say you have some marbles that kind of proc when the game starts. What I mean by that is, let's say you have a, let's say you have like a set of like marbles that would allow you to get double points and stuff. So I need to set that up and activate them right at the beginning. So one of the steps that we're going to be taking is to check for effect being one of the first things that run. So when you set up the board, as you can see on the game state manager or game state machine here on the side, when you set up the board, the next thing you do is check for effects. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that this is the exact like direction and I guess you could say like priority that's going to be taken. This is not the order, is what I'm trying to say. But this is kind of close enough to how, when I was thinking about it, what's going to be playing out next to each other. So set up board, the state's going to get made, the board's going to be made, then then you check for effects, like I explained, dealing with any of the effects of like holes or marbles that need upgrading, and then you go into your player or AI turn. Now, player or AI turn is just a simple switcher, pretty much. I firmly believe that if it's not the AI turn, it's going to be your player turn. If it's your player turn, all the dealings of moving, choosing, will all be dealt with the player hand scene that I created. So from there, you have your state managed by the player hand, which I explained, and then you choose the hole with the player hand. Then you do the pickup state because you pick up the hole from the hole. Drop the marble state, so you drop the next marble. In my case, there's actually a next hole state, which I ended up making. This ends up just helping kind of like separate every single step, which is what I wanted to make sure to do. And yeah, next state is the drop marble state. Then when you drop the marble state, like I told you, check for effects goes. Now this check for effects is kind of like a winding street, kind of like it can go multiple different ways. One of them could be, it could go to the next hole. This will depend on if you have more marbles in your hand than you thought. You also check if it's game over. And you also check if it's not game over, right, after the last one is dropped, then you're going to switch turns. That is a big one, because that goes back up and dictates if it's either my turn again or if it's the AI turn. Now, check for effect state will also have another thing to deal with, and it's go again. So in the rules of Mancala, if your last marble, in the same way that a capture works, where if your last marble lands on the circle of your side, you capture the other side. There's a similar thing when your last one lands on your side's big circle, which is the one where you get usually all your points from. You go again. So I want to make sure that check, which will only happen on A, in the check for effect state. Number two, why did I start with letters and go into numbers? I don't know. Check for effect state. Number two, going into a check where the last marble in your hand that was dropped is in the big one. On your side. It has to be on your side. Remember that. And then everything just kind of comes together and you go again. That is the idea. That's all going to be dealt with in the check for effect state because drop marble state will go directly into there. So I have an instance or a reference to your hand at that point, and that's going to dictate pretty much what effect goes to where. There's still kind of a thought process between what should I do first when it comes to even just having a last, let's say like a last marble. What I mean by that is if my last marble is a special marble and it lands on the go again, for example, and it's the last marble on my hand and the last marble in the game, should I do the effect or should I just end the game? So I'm thinking it might be an effect thing into end of the game. I think that might be the case. But since I don't have any special effects yet, I'm just going to go with what I got. So let's kind of keep going. So right now, game over state is where I'm at right now. I check to see if the marble size is 0. So this also comes from check for effect state. So check for effect state checks, hey, has there been capture? If so, play the capture animation. And then there is a, right here, on animation finished for capture, apply capture, which is right here. So at the end of apply capture, I also go into game over state. Because kind of like a reference point, if a capture has happened, let me kind of go through. So if capture has happened, then that means that I gotta also kind of figure out, yeah, current start now. Because this is capture. I also have to see if it's the last. It's the last. I can figure that out though. That's fine. Capture, then apply capture. Fine. Let's kind of keep going. I kind of want to finish game over state today. So here's where I was. Game over state's pretty much just checking, hey, marble size 0. Call this function that says check if game over. So check if game over is right down here. And all it does is say, hey, are all of the top row or all of the bottom row completely empty? If so, get all of the ones from the top row, put it into the enemy's hole, and then anything in the bottom, put it in the good hole. Give me 1 second. I got to pick up the burrito. Hey. Okay, so. Ooh. Yo. All right, so let's kind of go back into what I was saying. So one of the biggest things that we need to do right now is just make sure that everything is kind of like functioning properly. So what I mean by that is, for example, here, global data current round. So this counter pretty much just checks if the game is done. In my head, the total amount of rounds that you always play is 8. So the idea is going to be, actually it's going to be 9, but you get the point. So the first round is regular, second round is regular, third round's boss fight. That's 3. Then there's another set of 3. Then there's another set of 3. So it's actually 9. So I'm changing that right now. Okay, so global data, current runs, captures. So this global data, dude, one of the things I really wish that Godot had was just I could do multi-screen, because this not being able to like see 2 coding screens is dreadful, I'm not gonna lie. And that's the only thing that I also see why having Visual Studio Code and coding on it would be better, but I don't know. Okay, so current run captures. I have it set up to be an object, or I guess you could say a dictionary. It holds P1 and P2. So what I kind of want to do is that in this specific case, I was doing that. So I'm going to do current runs P1, and then captures P1 is usually what gets like added onto. So I think I added one. There's current round one more, but I need current round captures for P1. So this one will just be grabbing the current round captures for P1 and P2 instead of current run captures, which will be running, perpendicular to that. But like, just this is a total thing. This is just a round thing. So let's go back in current round. So current run captures P1. The reference will actually come from global data dot current round captures, and that's gonna be boom. I'm gonna add on all that to that. So global data current one more total. So current one more total is it's just a number, current one more total, which adds on to current one. So it's actually also current one here, P1. Same thing. Get this there. Global data. And then current one more total. Then you have current run marbles scored, which is just coming from the current points that I've grabbed for this round. Yeah, because this is going to go into like all that other stuff. So what's happening here? Total captures results. So this is some text that I have. So let's kind of bring that back and get another bite. Hello. Okay, cool. I disconnected my mic by mistake. Okay, so let's get this bread. Okay, so total captures result, total marble scored result. All these are text. So I need to bring them over. So total, if I could, I need to like grab these from Game State Manager, I think. Oh yeah, Game State Manager doesn't exist anymore. Game State Manager, Game State Manager, where are you? Right here. Okay, game over text. So I think this is it. Yeah, I think that's it. Let me just. So because of just the location of where it is, I'm just going to grab that, grab that, grab that. So did that work? That didn't even work. That wasn't even. I don't even think I got the right ones. Let's. I'm not gonna deal with that. Oh wait, no, never mind. It does help. Very cool. Global data, first move happening. Dude, I am going crazy with my voice cracks today. Okay. Again, one more P1. I have one already, but let me just deal with this first. So, total captures result. Total captures result. Total marble scored result. Total one more. Overall rating. So, total captures result. Let's go to total captures result. Total marble scored. Total overall rating. This is the one I needed. And same idea. There we go. Perfect. And boom. Okay, so is move happening. Again, we're going to reference it to global data. Global data is coming right now. One more. Okay, so one more. I have a one more reference. It's around here somewhere. One more. Current run one more. Okay, so here it is. I'm guessing this is, yeah, this is current run one more. P1. Okay. This is also global data. I think this is something I could work on as well. I'm not going to do it right now because it's one of those things where I know it's something that I think it might be worth kind of looking into. But quite frankly, I know it'll kind of pause me, and it's something I can just push for later. And that is that I could be putting all this maybe in a different global data, a different singleton, you know? Because I think right now, this is just a general singleton that I just made just because I learned how to do this recently. So, you know, anything that I can kind of make sure to work on is good. But I also don't want to overdo it and put so much stuff that, like, maybe it's not really a priority right now. And then remember that because I have a video that's coming out that literally helped me a lot with kind of understanding that is just something that's something you got to do, you know? Like, I think if you need to do something, then do it. I think it's worth it. But if you don't need to do it, man, I don't even think you got to like I think, you know, entertain the thought in the sense of like thinking about it and being like, yeah, then you know what, that it might be something to work on. And then if you really want to like make sure to do it, you know, I just put it to do, right? Right here. So for example, this to do, it's like, oh, right now the points are being just registered by like how many marbles there are, but every marble has a different point average. So you want to make sure you got that on deck. Yeah, that's it. So I'm pretty much done with the game over state. So depending on what state this is, or what, yeah, what, let me go here. So hypothetically right here, set up results screen for game is done and I won, I think. So this is the last. Game over lose is here. So lose state would be here. So let's do lose state activate, right? Here it would be win state. This would be, yeah, this would be win state, where I would then start setting up the result screen into going into the shop. So win state goes into win state, then goes into shop state, and then from shop state it goes to setup board. Right here is, I believe, game over. If current round is, no wait, if current round is 9. Oh. Yeah, I won here. So this is still win state. So I need to differentiate them. Final screen state might be what I would want to do. I could fix that. So like final screen state, and I'm gonna put 2D here because that's something worth kind of pointing out that I need to do. So yeah, so I wonder what this game does right now because I haven't run it. So let's try it. So standard, we start a run, game start. These stuff still work. Let me see if I can. Okay. So click works, the player works. Does it go to the next state? So let's do that. And guys, I want you to know this is like pretty much the majority of game development. You're just kind of like, you do things. If they work, they work. If they don't, they don't. But one of the things that I can kind of like really recommend you guys get better at is debugging, because you're going to be debugging most of the time, and it's one of those things where you guys got to learn that you're going to hit walls, bro, and those walls, you are the one that dictates if the wall is going to hurt the most or not, and that's not on anything else but that, So from what I understand, next whole state is the last thing that should happen in this case. So let's go over here. Okay, and then let's see if it cracks. You know what I'm saying? So start run, and then game start. So player 2 is AI. Oh wait, hold up, I forgot. What I did was I made the AI the main character, because that's the turn I want to do. So if I go over here, yeah, it's not going to the next state. So let's do that. Yeah, it's not doing that. AI goes and sends a current state and sends a move requested, which then goes to pick up marble state, which of course doesn't do anything else after that. Okay. That explains it. So let's do at the end right here. So you have global data current index. You have the bottom row that gets the children. You check to see where the current hole is. The next thing you want to do is from next hole, you want to go to drop marble. Pen duplicate if current pass. If not, queue free it. Yeah, so I think if you're in pickup marble state, you always have a marble to pick up, I think, right? Like, I'm not going crazy. Current index, it picks there. Yeah, if there's a size, an appendant, as the current counts the size, appendant. Yeah, okay. So let's do state machine dot change state, and then let's go to drop marble state. Drop marble state. Okay, so if I go here, now I should see that breakpoint that I set up. So let's see. Ah, motherfucker. Oh, check for infinite recursion in your script. I have Stack Overflow. This is the first time I had Stack Overflow. Oh, what the fuck? Okay, so check for effects. Why? Oh my god. What the hell? Okay, what the fuck? Okay, so check for effect state. Okay, so, oh wait, this is drop marble state. So check for effect state, and then check for effect state hits. Yeah, right. So then it's gonna hit current turn state, and then current turn state. Its whole thing is that it enters. No, yeah. Why doesn't this should just run? All right, this is a very funny one because I haven't seen this error yet. So game starts, animation starts. Change state happens, enters. It enters, check for effect state. Game state machine changes it, and now you're in current turn state. AI turns. So then you enter the turn, move requested on the pit. Move requested here happens. Pick up marble state happens. Change of state. Pick up marble state occurs. Drop marble state happens. And then drop marble state happens. And then you check for effects, which makes sense. Check for effects to happen. And then you hit the current turn state, which again makes sense. Then current turn state has AI return. Enter to enter state. Yeah. Enter turn state. Which then picks up the thing. So I think it's going because it doesn't know when AI finishes, which is super makes sense. So that's a great point. So drop marble state happens. Check for effect state happens. And then wow, bro. Man, this morning is fun. This morning has been crazy with fucking voice cracks, bro. What am I, like in puberty, dog? Like, what is this? Man, this burrito's so good, man. You have no idea. Okay. So yeah, I'm hitting current turn state like crazy. Let me see what's happening here. So I guess I need to check to see if global data current hand, I think is called. No. Hand. Wow, I don't have a hand. How have I been registering the hands and stuff? Current row, current hole. It's like marbles in hand, I think. Or marbles to be dropped, I think. Yeah, that's what it is. So if marble, oh shit, global data, and check marbles to be dropped. Perfect. So there's a hand. That size. Equals 0. That means that was the end. And because it's the end, I want to check if this, if global, if a capture has happened, then do the capture, and then I want to do an elif if the global data to go again. How do I do the go again? How in the hell do I do the go again? I would have to check if go again happened. But this is the place where I would check if go again happens. This is check for effects. Oh yeah. Drop state would tell me that, I think. So drop marble. No, I wouldn't be here. It'd be yeah, I'd be here. Captures, and also what I need is shit. Okay, so captures is here. Then what else? I need go again. But go again only happens. Bro, where is my go again? Do I not have go again? Yeah, implemented. Ah, I have something here. Go again, go again. Okay, if current home, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, current round one more. So yeah, this This is here. But why is this here? In game over state, why is this here? This shouldn't be here. This also shouldn't be here. Be right back. Yo, I'm back. All right, so yeah, so there's a lot of stuff here that's going a little crazy. All this stuff, if game over is false, because this is checking to see if it's zero. All this game over shit. Wait, does the game over state? Yeah, okay. So actually, all this stuff wouldn't be here. Yeah. It's false, it just goes through. Perfect. Okay. So check for effect state is going to be the one that has this logic in it. Yeah, mine was to be dropped. The text, global data. Why is this failing? Shit. Okay. Back. This is gonna be a little annoying, but it's all good. It's all good. Okay, apply capture, capture's done. And then it checks the capture stuff. Okay, so yeah. So pretty much what's happening here is that we have a lot of states that a lot of stuff that happens if the marbles to be dropped is empty. So funny enough, game over state I think will just be if this is true. So I actually hypothetically don't need this because when this gets called, it would be after check for effect state and this gets trued. So for example, what I mean by that is, let's say check if game over happens, right? This check if game over has to happen in check for state. So for example, the first if statement should be this. Yeah, and then if game, if global data game over is true. So if it's true, then we gotta start game overing. So what we would do in this situation is change the state. So right off the bat, the only thing we need to do is just change the state to game over state. That's it. Yeah, but it's not, actually doesn't matter. I think it changed state lower cases. Yeah, doesn't matter. Okay, so this is what happens. So that means check if game over needs to go over here. So let's go to game over state. Grab the check if game over. Okay, let's go to check for sex, and then add it to the bottom. Okay, man, I miss Visual Studio Code in situations like that, where it just pulls some nasty stuff like that. Okay, yep, and then put this one, answer it once, beautiful. Check if game over state. Fire, okay, so because of that, check if game over state, this is it. Now, if game over state is false, then we start working up everything else. So that means that the game still keeps going. That means that it could be either a new turn, or it could be a capture, or it could be a switching of turns, which is the other possibility. So let's push this over here. So, okay, so right off the bat, if current hole is our hole, then it's go again. Else, switch turn. However, one of the things I want to do is, before all of this, I want to capture. So capture inherently switches turn. So when I say that, I want to check if game over is true, or it's false. If it's false, then move is not happening anymore. Why is it not happening anymore? Just because game over is false doesn't mean that it's not continuing. Oh, no, because it isn't, because the size is 0 at this point. Which means that all I would need to do is just make sure that if in this else statement that I'm going to add in now to here, I just got to make sure that when the else statement goes through, that I'm just going to switch the current turn state. That's it. If marbles to be dropped is 0, global game over. If game over is true, then change state. If not, first hole, all this happens. So current hole is that and player 1, then you go again. Current round, one more P1. Okay. Now, here's the thing. If current hole that, else, or elif this, then that. If it's not any of these, then it means that there's a new turn. Now, in this one, where it's switching turns, I need to capture. Yeah, I need to capture. So here's the thing. I don't want to switch to the turn right after the capture. That'd be too quick for me, I think. I think that'd be too quick. Now, if that's the case, play next turn would be switch turn state, which will then switch it. I think, yeah, which is perfect. Switch turn state. So if that, then switch to AI turn and then current turn state, which just checks to see if the player's there. If the player one is there, then I guess it would just be remove ghost. But we can figure that out later. I only got like 15 minutes left, but it's all good. We're cooking. If the global player one is move happening false, your turn player one, your turn player two. So before all this, I want to do a capture. So let's just set up a capture. If and only if this is true. So let's go in here. Okay. So if has captured. I'm player one. So I want to check this out. Capture for that, and that's fine. And then just make sure I do this as well, but for player two. Okay. Switch his turn, and then state machine. I change state and change it to switch turn state, and I'm going to go over here, do this, boom. Okay, so same idea for this one. Go over here. Perfect. Okay, so if all of this fails, right, in the sense of like, I'm gonna have a lot of stuff that's missing. So I want to change the state to current if the else doesn't work. So let's change state machine current. Expected statement found else instead. What the fuck do you mean? Oh, whoops, one more. Boom, there we go. If it finds that the size is not 0, or it's less than or equal to, so the idea is the less than or equal to 0, just in case. Then that means that the turn's still going. So let's pop another turn. Pop another turn. Okay, so go again text. So go again. I need to get all my go again stuff going. It's right here. So let's do ready. Go again equals boom. So that's already fixes that. There's next turn. Let's do that. Ready. Bar. Next turn. Okay, so that's already on the double, and then P1 arrow and P2 arrow, so same thing. P1, did I spell it right? I'm just gonna grab it. Okay, and then P1 arrow equals player 1 arrow, same thing for P2 arrow. No, this will just make it so. Okay, fire. Okay, cool. Hypothetically, this should just make it where it works. Apply capture, play capture, apply capture. If not, change state. Okay, let's see how this works. Question marco. Okay, standard, start run, everything breaks. Oops, distribute main. Okay, yeah, forgot to do that. So let's go to Game State Manager. Distribute remaining marbles is what I need. Distribute remaining marbles. Distribute remaining marbles. Distribute remaining marbles. Bum. Right here. Okay. This is gonna be inside of check current state. Yeah, I forgot. Do not save when it's running. Top children, top row. I need all that top row stuff. This is current turn state. Check for back state. That's what it was. Ooh, do I need anything? Oh, it just works. Oh my god, bless. Okay, let's see. So I go here. This instantly breaks. Check if game over doesn't exist. You're right, it doesn't. So let's go. Check if, give me a check if game over. There it is. Sorry, I thought I brought it over. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm kind of confused that it's not there. Dude, check if game over is right here. Why is check if game over not? Wait, where is this? Oh, this is in game over state. But I already do this check, don't I? Why is check if game over just instantly? Okay, I'm gonna. God dang it. Okay. Here, then I go to pass. Okay. Let's run this. Expected indent. Okay. There we go. Oh my god. When am I gonna learn? Okay. Let's play this bad boy. You run. Okay. Standard. Select. Game start. AI pick. Oh, my breakpoint. Okay. So I'm gonna see something real quick. I'm just gonna play and see what happens. What just happened? Okay, let's just replay. Oh no! Let's just replay. Game start, so I pick one of the ones. Non-existent hide text in base dictionary. For first hole. Oh my god. What the heck do you mean, bro? What is this? Check our facts. Why is marble 0? Right. And first, how am I have to do something? First turn equals true or false. It's not the first turn anymore. So then I go to first turn. False, and then in setup board before game start happens. Wait, what the heck? This is setup board? Oh, wait. Yeah. So game shit. It's, global data. Dot what would it be? If it's global data dot whole, no. Global data dot. I just had it, bro. I just did it. First turn. Equals true. So by the time it already hits, so it hits current turn state, we're already out there. So I'm just gonna do this. So it's global data current, oh shit, that's first turn. No, not first hole, first turn. Oh my god. First turn equals false or true? It would equal, well, that will be false. It's not the first turn anymore. Okay, let's try this out again. Okay, so I start the run, it picks one, it breaks. Why are you breaking? Okay, this first whole thing needs to like, I don't know what this is, so I'm just gonna return the shit. So see what happens. What the hell? Invalid operands dictionary and object and operator blank. Oof, okay, there's gonna be some issues here. Let's see what's up. Current hole is our hole. What time is it? I got 5 minutes. Okay. All right, I'm popping a null. Let's see if this works. Oh my god, it worked. Oh my god, it worked. Okay, so what happened here? So there should be a point where okay. 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 Why? There should be a switch turn state for next turn. When does next turn activate though? Okay, let me see. I can. No, sorry, file. Does it not go in here? Okay, so I might need to think about this a little more because what seems to be happening is that AI turn, what it does is that it chooses a spot. It seems to be choosing a spot every single time it hits current turn state, which shouldn't be the case, but it is. So what I need to do is that I need to figure out how to let current turn state know that it's still in the middle of a turn instead of, hey, here's the first thing that you do in the turn. Because right now, AI turn state is going bonkers. So let's do this. current turn state? No. Yeah, current turn state. So here, I'm going to do a check to see if global data. If global data, well, actually, wait, I could just check if, yeah, if global data is move happening, true, right? And if it's true, that means I gotta let that go. If it's not, then give me the first turn. Then enter the turn and do its thing. Did I blink? I might have blinked. Let me just double check. Okay, so. Okay. So game start, let's see which one it picks. 1, 2. Okay, so kind of glitchy. All good though, kind of glitchy. Should have dropped it over there, but yeah, so look, it picked. It's dropping in the same place. Oh, and with that, the 1 hour is over. To those who came by, to those who didn't, thank you guys so much. I'm going to get ready and stuff, so I gotta go. I appreciate y'all. Have a great night, all right?